Coming at you with more hits than Will Smith at the Oscar Awards, it's RGT85 with your daily dose of video game news. We're actually going to talk about that Will Smith thing over on the secondary channel because I have a completely different opinion than I've seen on my timeline of Twitter and Facebook and stuff. And I kind of want to talk about it, but obviously not on this channel. So look out for that video later on today on the channel, but you are here for video game news. And we actually have quite a few stories that I want to cover today. First time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share if you really enjoyed the video. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. We're going to start things off with a little bit of Kirby news because it looks like Kirby has been rather successful. It's had a very successful launch in the UK with numbers coming in, putting it as one of the best-selling Kirby games of all time. And really, this shouldn't come as a huge surprise. You know, it's been a while since we've gotten a mainline, you know, sort of well thought out and fleshed out Kirby game on consoles. Yes, you could argue that Star Allies was a consoleized Kirby game, but really it felt like, you know, something that could have been a 3DS game just with a little better visuals. Whereas this game is much more fully realized. Kirby is asserting himself as the throat goat. Like I said in my video, if you haven't checked out my video on Kirby and the Forgotten Land, make sure you guys check it out. It'll be very interesting to see how it does in the United States. And of course, when we get the NPD numbers for all that stuff, I think this game's gonna be a big success though. It's definitely a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to unlock in the game. There's a lot of good stuff for Kirby fans, and it's very accessible to people who have maybe never played a Kirby game before. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land, off to a great start. Just wanted to mention that. Next up, allegedly, there's going to be a big PlayStation 5 reveal happening this week in the form of whatever PlayStation Spartacus is supposed to be. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what the rumors have been around with PlayStation Spartacus, essentially, it's going to be something kind of similar to Game Pass, but not really. Whereas Game Pass gives you a lot of games available on day one, this is going to be more for the retro catalog of PlayStation titles, stuff that you can kind of do on PlayStation Now, but kind of streamlining it because let's be real, PlayStation has just way too many things going on with their subscription services. You have PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now. It's like you need to streamline this. You need to make this more accessible. You need to make this easier. And it seems like that announcement will be allegedly happening at some point this week. Now, there's been lots of rumors, lots of stuff floating around. There was like a chart of potential pricing that was quote unquote leaked, but that ended up being just a fake chart that someone had made because if you look, there's a bunch of grammatical mistakes. There's like pricing mistakes as well. It's not consistent throughout the chart, but I think this could be very interesting, more so because of the fact that it does seem like Sony wants to do something to sort of combat Game Pass, or at least have an answer to Game Pass. So it's not going to be necessarily the retro stuff, but it's going to be the more modern stuff. Obviously, you get some PlayStation games for free with PlayStation Plus, but it seems like they want to expand upon that. I don't think it'll be as in-depth as something like, you know, Game Pass is, because Game Pass is just, you know, its own sort of behemoth. But I do think Sony can offer something, especially with modern and their back catalog of stuff that, you know, maybe Xbox doesn't really have an answer for. I feel like these companies need to utilize whatever their strengths are, you know, and when it comes to a company like Nintendo, or in this case Sony, the back catalog of games is where you need to be tapping into. You need to be tapping into that nostalgia. Now, I do hope that they do some sort of, you know, texture filters and stuff like that. Like PlayStation 1 emulation has been very good across, you know, since the PlayStation 3 was available and you could download PlayStation 1 games on that. I do hope they expand upon that though. I would like to see PlayStation Portable games, or PSP as it's known, PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. Yes, I know. PlayStation 3 is going to be something that would be hard to do natively because of the architecture of the system. Like PlayStation 3 would be tough to do natively. A lot of people feel like if there are PlayStation 3 games included into this, it's going to be cloud versions of the game. I hope it's native. I hope it's native because I would love to be able to play Metal Gear Solid 4 easily without having to bust out my big backwards compatible PlayStation 3. Now, as far as, you know, will you be able to pop a disc into the system like you would with Xbox and Game Pass? I highly doubt that. I really, really doubt that. I feel like you're going to have to purchase these games or download these games or have this subscription service to where you have access to the games, and maybe when you download them, you get them for a set amount of time. There's definitely a lot of questions that are going into this because it seems like they're going to be condensing a lot of their services. But like I said, I think it's something that needs to be done. You want to streamline these things for people, and the fact that there are so many PlayStation services right now available for the PlayStation 5, like it's ridiculous. Like just make it simple, make different bundles, and then you can sort of expand upon that. So hopefully this announcement does happen this week. Like I said, I'm pretty interested in seeing how it all plays out, how they're going to manage the classic stuff, how they're going to manage new stuff, and what sort of pricing is going to be in this, because I feel like pricing is definitely going to be make or break. Because let's be real, a lot of people are already, you know, sort of comparing this to Xbox Game Pass, because allegedly that's what this is supposed to be like. So you got to have a Game Pass like pricing, I feel, with something like this, if that's the sort of, you know, mentality and the sort of energy you want to put out there into the world about PlayStation Spartacus. And it better have a different name. Like, it better not be called, this is PlayStation Spartacus. Like, that's stupid. Like, that just better be a code name or something like that. But is this something you would be interested in? Because I feel like PlayStation Now for me definitely burned me when it first came out, because streaming those games, you couldn't download them, you can only stream them. It didn't work all that well. So I feel like Sony, you know, maybe they realize that, and maybe they're going to improve upon it with whatever PlayStation Spartacus is going to be. But are you looking forward to the potential reveal this week? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, the Nintendo eShop is a really weird place, you know, when you think about it, because you got the Wii U and the 3DS closing soon. There's going to be a lot of headaches and problems with that. You have some company making like 7 games for the 3DS and the Wii U between then and now, and like all the games look the same. I don't understand like what they're doing. Like, you're not going to make money on there probably. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the novelty appeal of being one of the last or the last Wii U and 3DS games. But we actually talked about another situation going on with another Nintendo eShop that's kind of a problem. And that's the fact that the Wii eShop and the DSi shop have been down for a while now. You know, it's been a couple weeks since these eShops have been down, and people are saying, well, you know, who gives a shit? You know, who cares? It's not like you're buying stuff on there anymore. And like that's not the point. Like, I completely understand that. The point of it was that you could access those shops to re-download things that you have already purchased. Now, eventually it was going to be closing at some date and time, but these just randomly went down without any rhyme or reason, without any sort of forewarning. And since then, they've been down. They're still not up. The Wii eShop is still not up to the point of where you can re-download something you've purchased. The DSi is the same thing. And like, yes, these are important systems because there are games that were designed for the DSi and designed for the Wii that were only available on the Wii eShop. So unless you want to pirate, which Nintendo doesn't want you to do because they just took down some freaking Super Mario 64 guide that never got released stateside. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, Nintendo? You need to get your shit in order. You need to get your priorities in order. It's a guide for Super Mario 64. Like seek help with that. But it's problematic because you have games like the Rebirth series on the Nintendo Wii where these games are stuck on the Wii. Point blank, period. The only way to play these games is through the Nintendo Wii because that's all they released on. Well, Nintendo actually gave an update to this situation, and it's really bizarre. So in an email given to Kotaku, I know, I don't like Kotaku either, they actually responded to this whole thing about the servers being down and said the following: the Wii Shop channel and the DSi shop are currently undergoing maintenance. We will provide an update at a later date. Maintenance? What could you be maintaining on these? You're not adding anything into it. You're not changing up anything. Well, maybe you are changing up something. Maybe you're making it so that people can download these games until the end of time or something like that. But on the surface level, it seems like these just went down and like you didn't care. And today they're still down. This has been going on, like I said, for many, many weeks now. So a lot of people felt like Nintendo just randomly pulled the plug on this. And if that's the case, like, that's disgusting. You need to give people sort of a roadmap to where, you know, we always talk about Nintendo not providing roadmaps for things like the N64 titles and what they're doing with their, you know, Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. You need to give people a roadmap so that they're able to, you know, do things with this. Like, I know for a lot of people, this isn't a big deal, but you have to look at the bigger picture with this. We're talking about games being lost forever unless you pirate them, unless you hack your Wii or something like that. And yes, it's very easy to hack your Wii nowadays, but Nintendo doesn't want you to do that. They don't want you to pirate these games. How can you not want me to pirate stuff, but you're not giving me the option to purchase them or re-download stuff I already spent money on? How does nobody see a problem with this? How does nobody see this as a big deal for the loss of games, of literal games, of full video games that you'll never be able to play again? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that most people don't seem to care about this, because they don't. You know why they don't care? Because it doesn't impact games that they like. Once it starts impacting games that they like, all these people will be up in arms about it. These kids out there with their little YouTube channels. Who cares about the old stuff? Blah, blah, blah. No, once it impacts a game that you want to play and you realize that you cannot play that game, then you will care. And then well, you can come crawling back to me, because shit, I want views, baby. But you can come crawling back to me, but just know I'm gonna look at you with a stank eye. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're new, if you really enjoyed it, be sure to comment, share it around, like it, all that good stuff. Check out the second channel, because I'm about to give some interesting insight into this Will Smith thing, I think. I am going to have some fun with this. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.